The markets drop a little. Is this the start of a pullback? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so last week we talked about the fact that 56.65 was a significant resistance level, and we'd like to see a pullback off of that level. And on Monday, we saw that level continue to hold as the market poked just above it, then dropped 50 points off of that level. Now the question is this a small drop or a real pullback? I'll get into that in just one second. But first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, with that big drop today, we were all over it. As you can see on the screen, we were in at 6:35 a.m., which is 5 minutes after the market opens. That's Pacific Standard Time. We rode the short all the way down, cashing out for almost 100% gain and doing really well on that trade. As you can see, this puts us up nicely in August for yet another winning month. We do this again and again. This isn't a one-time thing. We use disciplined, strong trading practices, and we make money. And if you want to be part of that winning team, stay tuned for later in the video, but for now, let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. As you can see, they made a slightly higher high here and then failed. Remember, breaking support is not just getting above the level, it's breaking out away from that level, and they did not do that. They look above that level and failed today and brought it all the way down to the 5630 area, which is our next big support level for this consolidation here, this peak here, this consolidation here. There's a lot of support at the 5630 area. So what we want to see, if you're looking for the bigger pullback, which is still what I would like to see before we push higher, I'd like to see this B-wave pullback into this 53.95, 53.25 area, this 0.618 retrace. What you want to see is you want to see them continue and break down below last week's low, which is 55.85, and then roughly 55.85. And then you want to see them press through 55.40. If they press through 55.40, it's much more likely we're going to get a move like this before we head back to all-time highs. If, however, they are just consolidating up here and they have, a 4-5 of 3 and then a 4 and 5, we could see them make a more direct move toward that 5,800 target that we've been talking about, 5850. I would look at the bottom end of that at the 5,800 if they go directly. I would want to see a pullback to see the higher targets, the 5850s, get hit. But I would look for consolidation up here and a breakout. And if you see a breakout, very likely we head towards 5,800. And then from there, we'll see if they're able to extend to 5850. But I would think 5800, given that we are pretty extended here, and that would be an extended wave 5 off of this consolidation point. So if they're able to kind of make this double bottom breakout here, then 5800 directly would be more in line with what we're looking for. So 5539 is our first target to break to the downside. If they can break through that, then we would look at the 5400, 5325 area. And if they cannot break through that, we would look for them to consolidate, break out, and head towards 5800 more directly. It is still possible, although this move down today wasn't the best structure, but it is still possible to see a 5-wave move down off of the high. And that is the only time we're going to switch to a bearish count. If we see a 5-wave move down that breaks support, then we're going to look for a 3-wave bounce and continuation to the downside. But this is our alternate count until proven otherwise. Over on the NASDAQ, now, if you are a little bit more bearish or looking for that bigger B-wave pullback, the NASDAQ is the chart for you. They did come down and break their weekly low, so they broke last week's low, which is a good sign. But they need to come down and break this 19,450 area. If they do that, we should see some acceleration down into this 19,130 zone, and then we'll see what happens from there, because the NASDAQ does have the potential to be in a 5-wave move where this is wave 1, this is wave 2, and then you have 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and starting to break down. And we'd want to see that break down into this 18,947 area, 18,950 area overall. So this would take us down into our wave 1 of C. So you'd look for this to be wave 1. You have wave 2, 3, 4, and 5 on down. And that would give us a 5-wave move off of the high should they complete all of that, not just this top area. So NASDAQ is giving us a decent start to the downside, and it has stayed below its 764, which is well below where ES is in relation to its top. So I could definitely see a world where ES goes up and makes a new high, whereas NASDAQ kind of bounces down here and doesn't, and then NASDAQ turns down with ES after that. So if the ES can go make like a nominal new high, maybe 10, 20-point new high, and then roll over, then I could see the NASDAQ not making a new high and rolling over. However, if they get down here and they kind of give you this ABC down into the 19,120 area, 130 area, 19,200 area, right in here, and then give us a bounce, and then down again, then it's much more likely we're in this B wave and we're heading into that 18.6, 18.700 area, and then we'd look for a stronger move back up from there that would take us to around the 22,000 region. Now again, NASDAQ is weaker relative to the ES in relation to where it is to its all-time high. It's under the 764, whereas ES is well over its 764. And it did break last week's low where ES did not break last week's low. So NASDAQ is looking weaker overall. The tech sector is starting to show cracks, and if that continues, they can lead to the downside and they can bring that bearish count back into play. But remember, the only time we're going to turn bearish is if we see a full 5 waves off the top. So you'd want to see this wave 1 complete down here around 18,950, 5 waves. Then you'd look for a bounce in wave 2, and then 3, 4, and 5 down, and this would be one of C. And at that point, we can start to have a more bearish outlook on the market. But until then, we are looking for either a direct move higher or a hold of this 18,600, 18,700 area, and then a move higher after that. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It will take you right over to our webpage. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans that both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there. I want you to make sure you love it, become part of our trading team, make sure it's for you, interact with everybody, make sure it's what I say it is before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. You literally have nothing to lose by checking us out. We also have our educational material, our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course, as well as our Advanced Elliott Wave course. And these courses are helping people understand a complex market in a way that makes sense. So in our advanced course, we go through the very complex patterns such as your advanced fib levels, your diagonals, your double and triple threes, your flats, your triangles, and how to trade Elliott Wave. A lot of people don't understand exactly how to trade it. They know the concepts of it, but they don't know when the setups are and how to use them. This all breaks down Elliott Wave for you in the complex patterns. And you can see on the screen that this is really helping our traders understand these tough markets. But if you are just getting started or this seems a little too much for you, we have our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course. This course is helping real traders make real money and finally understand the market in a way that makes sense. It can be so difficult when good news makes the market go down and bad news makes the market go up. And that's because Elliott knew that the news cycles were garbage long ago. He knew that key levels mattered, and we give them to you here all the time. And he knew what happened when those key levels held, and he knew what happened when they broke. This gives you a huge trading advantage over the rest of the market. This course is 25 videos through 3 parts. We start with your introduction and get you introduced to Elliott Wave Theory, mindset training, the KISS method and why this works. And then we move into your chart setup and tools to make sure you have everything you need, what tools we use, how we use them, and why we use them. And then we get into our Elliott Wave for Beginners area where we go through each of the waves, the theory of alternation, corrective depth theory, everything you need to know about this market to make sense of what seems irrational. Now, the cool thing about both of these courses is if you want to get them at a discount, you can buy them both for a $37 discount, and you can go all the way from beginner to being an advanced Elliott Wave specialist. But if you want to pay nothing at all, simply join one of our monthly rooms as they are included in that price. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go through several different charts. We take a big picture look at the market. We answer all of your questions. We go through all the counts. We make sure everybody understands where we're at. We go over our trades. It's a very detailed video where we go through a lot of different information. And you also get the training material. You just saw we trade the SPY and the QQQ. So we swing in day trade, which means we trade quite often in my room. But if you're looking for futures trading, individual stocks, income trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method, you need to check out PT's throne room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as that individual stocks, as well as that futures trading. His income method, guys, you sit and watch time go by and you collect money. It's an amazing thing. He's averaging 50 to 60 points per month doing that on the ES, just killing the market. And then his reduced risk binary method gets you in at a really cheap price, and it gets you big multiples on your money, and it's how he structures that trade that's so unique. Something you really have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we'd love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, our key takeaways for today. The bears tried to start a move down here. They did pretty good. They need to break last week's low, 55.85, and then a break of 55.40 tells us we're likely in this B wave toward the 5400 to 5350 area. If they cannot break down and they start to move higher and break out over this high that they made yesterday, then we'd be looking at a more direct route towards 5800. If there's a 5-wave move down, and that's the only other caveat, if it's 5 down and a bigger 5 down toward the lows from a couple weeks ago, then we would shift to a bearish outlook and look for more downside after that. Over on the NASDAQ, NASDAQ's a little bit weaker. It's below at 764. It broke last week's low already. It has this 19,450 area that's going to be major support. Should they break that, we would look for acceleration. A breakdown below 19,397 tells us we're likely either in this bigger B-wave pullback toward the 18,600 area, or we're going to be in a bigger 5-wave move down toward the lows, which would shift us to a bearish count. A move back up over the highs from last week would push us back towards new all-time highs on the NASDAQ. Guys, that is your market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.